Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on a simple pair of earrings using some pieces from our bargain bead box, Midnight Skies. I think you're going to enjoy this, so let's get down and we'll start working on those. From our Midnight Skies kit, we have got one for each earring of the star earrings or beads, and two of these aurora beads, or aura, I should say. These are from my stash. There's some saucers. I'm going to put those right here. And then we have some chain that I've cut into 21 links, which makes it about 1.5 inches. We've got some bead caps and some of the little tiny blue crystals. I was going to use these white ones, but these are a little fragile. I've broken a couple of these, and I was thinking it would make my bar too long. So anyway, we have all of these for each one. This is this. Then I've got some 21 gauge wire. I actually wanted to use 18, but the little blue stars would not accept the 18. It was too big for it. So we got 4.5 inches of the 20. So let's put this aside. And the first thing we want to do is we want to take and make a loop on one end of our 20 gauge. So we'll bend that, get our bell making pliers, our stepped ones, using the smallest. We bring it around, drop it, bring it around. Now I'm going to open this a little bit back up because we're going to feed the chain on right now. So it's going to go on either side. So we'll feed the chain on. And then we're going to wrap this side up. Squish it back together. You can do this by hand if you want. I tend to use a second pair of pliers generally, unless I have quite a bit of wire. If I have quite a bit of wire, I might do it by hand, but in general, I use my pliers. So we'll wrap this 2 or 3 times. Tighten it up some. Looks like 3 is what it wants to be, so we will let it be 3. Then we're going to take our beads and put them on here. It looks like this needs to be tucked just a little bit more. Okay. Then we will slide our beads on, starting with our little star. Then one of the bead caps. This bead, other bead cap, the saucer, the stars, the saucer, bead cap. And lastly, the last star. Now, before we make our next move, we're going to bow this little wire so that when our chain comes up, it'll come up and it'll meet the other side here. Now I'm doing this prior to wrapping the other side because it needs to have a little bit of extra room to do this so that you don't break any beads as you tighten it up. So there we go. Now we need to slide this all the way in, and then we will do our second wrap. Making sure we're facing the same direction. Step over and around, drop it and bring it around, leaving that little gap for our chain to slide into. Here we go. Push it back together, take our other pair of pliers, and wrap it. Now remember, when you're wrapping this, that last bead is a crystal. Well, it's not a crystal, it's a glass though. It's Czech glass. So we want to wrap it carefully so that we don't break that last bead. If you do break it, you're going to need to pull it apart and start over. See what we got going here. Are you in place over here? Yep. And you're pretty much in place here. So we'll bring it. Let's see what we got. Here. So we're going to need to clip this little bit of extra here and carefully tuck it in so that we don't break our star here. Okay, now that we have that done, our chains will come together up here at the top. And if you think it's too long, now you can trim your chains so it's smaller. But our chains will come together up here, like so. And now is the time to make the decision if you want to have a dangle or not. If you do want a dangle, then you need to get it put together and so it'll drop right here. So let's see what we've got for a dangle. We've got this little crescent moon left. We can put him in there. And then maybe one of these white stars. Like so. And if we want more length yet, we could put one of our tiny blue stars there too, right here. Which is pretty cute, though you do need to remember that when you bring this on, you're going to be taking up some of your space. So I think it still will be fine, though it is going to be a relatively long earring, but then I like a long earring, so no problem by me. If you don't want this long of an earring and you want something similar still, what you can do is maybe take out these bottom two stars here, or one of these other beads, lift it up and use a smaller length of chain. See, that'll make it quite a bit smaller, just pulling that up like that. So up to you what you decide to do with your earrings, but I think I am going to make a dangle for mine. Since I decided to do a dangle, I got out a couple of ball head pins. I got out a little pile of jump rings here for putting stuff together, and a couple of ear wires. So we'll put this together. That one does not want to go onto the wire. See about this one. This one went on perfect. So I'll just switch this one out. Now normally I put a spacer in, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I need to get a little tiny spacer. I'll be right back. A couple of little tiny ball spacers here, so we'll put one on here. Let the other one go over here for this bunch. And then put this on here, like so. I'm going to actually flip this, I think. Let's see what it looks like flipped. Yep. Then we will make a little loop, just like we normally would, being careful of our our star there at the top. Now I'm going to just put this directly on to the little guy here. Now I bent this a little more than I wanted, so I'm going to carefully bring it over. Come here, baby. And up. Now we want to carefully wrap this without breaking that top star. So this is our dangle. It's going to go in the middle here. So now we're going to construct it here. And I've got a ton of little jump rings in order to do that. I think I'm going to want 2 or 3 onto my, and you could use a little bit of chain too if you wanted to. But I'm going to use like 3 of these, because I think it needs to dangle down more than it would with just one. So we'll make a sort of chain with the 3 oval jump rings. And you could use round ones for this one if you wanted. That piece in the middle there, the crescent moon, is actually pretty thick. See? Now it's on the ground. I'll just be right back. As I was saying, see how thick that is? And it is stainless steel, so it's going to be. So we put on our second link. Now I'm doing 3 because otherwise with just 2 it would face backwards or to the side, and we don't want that. Now what I'm doing right now is checking our link to make sure it's closed all the way, because sometimes they'll pop up just a little bit, and this one has. So trying to make sure that I've got it closed good. Okay, so now this is going to sit in the middle with the chains coming up on either side. Now, I didn't get one out, but I think I might. Oh, let's see if it'll work with this small one first. If not, we'll get a larger jump ring out. What we want to do is take our chains. Come on, baby. And we'll link everything together here. And we're even going to put our ear wire on here if there's enough room. We'll see how it looks. If it needs a bigger one, we'll change it out. Nope, it looks like it's going to hang just fine with this smaller one. So there is what our earring is going to look like. Like I say, it is sort of long, but oh, isn't it pretty? I like it. So let's get to work on our second one, shall we? So we can do the dangle first, or we can do the bottom part first, but let's just go to work on it. So do the bend, put our wire, pull it around, bring it over. Oops, because I didn't flip it, I just bent the wire some. But that's all right, because we're just going to wrap it anyway. So let's drop our chain on here. I also didn't leave a big enough opening, so we'll have to open up this a teeny touch here. Come on, babe. There we go. So now we'll hold this together, get our other pair of pliers, and wrap this baby. Now remember, I bent this, so I had to muscle that first little bit a bit. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing with this carefully like this, it's that I'm at the end of my wire, so I'm just taking my pliers and doing just a little bit at a time. And then I'm going to put my pliers in the loop and on the base here and give it a little squish up to make sure it's more or less where I want it. Now let's get these pieces on here. I don't think this is going to go on here because it was the one that didn't want to go on the other wire, though it did go on here. Surprisingly, though I've got it facing the wrong direction. So we'll take it back off, and we'll see if it will go on this one now. And it did. I already have this started on the dangle. I might as well just finish the dangle up. So there's that. And our white star. So there's our dangle, all in place. Now we have to make our loop. Remember, we need to leave it open a little bit. Come around, drop her down, and leave her open, like so, so that our little moon can go on. There we go. Now that we have him on, we want to push the wires back together with our pliers. And I see we're a little crooked here. Again, so we're going to straighten that up. It's better. Then we'll take our second pair of pliers, grab our wire, hold tight. Now we want to do our wraps. Got the excess off. And carefully tuck this baby in. Okay, this needs to slide up just a little bit if I can get it to do it. So we'll put it in here. There. Let's see if we can get this to work. Okay. Okay. That's in. This is a little crooked, so we're going to straighten it. Oh, come on, baby. There we go. Okay, there's our dangle. We could put our little links on here now too if we want to. So let's go ahead and do that. You'll recall we had 3 jump rings, so here's 1, 2, and while we're putting the second one on, we'll put the third one on as well. Now again, the 3 is so it will hang to the front instead of sideways. So there's our dangle done. And now we need to feed our beads onto our bow here. See, we want the point going. Yep. Now when you've got beads like this, stars that go in both directions, you want to verify that you're going the right way because you don't want it to be backwards when you end up being finished with your piece. This is the other chain. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Now is the time we're going to do our bend. Now we want it to be more or less the same as that one, so not enough yet. Maybe just a teeny bit more. Okay. I think we're probably good now. So now we want to do our wrap. Remember, we want to make sure our loop is going the same way, or we're going to have to put it back down in place. Which you can do, just have to twist the wire. So up and over, drop her down, over and around, leaving that little bit of a gap for our chain to get through. So chain, that went on really easily. Now hold it, get our other pliers, get our chain out of the way, it can go over here. Then we're going to wrap this Oop. I think we're about done. So just a teeny touch more and cut that last little tiny bit off. Come here, Barry. Tuck this last little tiny bit in place. You're not cooperating here. Okay. Let's see if she went out of whack any. I think it needs just a bit more bend, and I think I got enough wiggle space to do it. So, there we go. Oh yeah, that's good now. And now, of course, our last step is to put all this stuff together. So let's bring our dangle over here, get our jump ring, open her up, chain, dangle, other chain, It's just verifying my chain is straight here and I don't have any kinks in it. Ear wire. And close her up. And there you go. Our second earring is done. And there's our earrings all finished. Aren't those pretty? Let's get our excess jump rings put away. And we are done. I think those turned out so cute. Stars. So there we go, our pretty little moon, and well, it's more stars than anything. Night sky maybe. Earrings, and they are, like I say, pretty long, but they are a really pretty earring. I really like how these turned out. I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoyed making these with me. Aren't those cute? Anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we've been using our bargain bead box, Night Skies, to make these lovely earrings. And I hope you enjoyed making them with me. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.